Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. Hi. Oh, that's something I didn't do. I did not pop out the chat. So let's do that. Well, I wait. Pop out chat. No. Huh. Says that... Oh, now it's back. There we go. Much better. Okay, it froze up for a second and I wasn't sure if I lost you or not. But we appear to be fine. So, good afternoon. It's almost 2, holy shit, already here in Vegas. I guess greetings wherever you are, whatever time of day it is for you. I'm working on kind of nothing particularly exciting, but I am going to be soldering up a bunch of support bits for the thing that I'm building. I'm going to install a couple of photoresistors in that bra thing that I've been working on, and I'm going to prep some LED strip as a permanent fixture inside of the propeller pasty bra housing, I guess. And then I'm working on, it's actually down here. Nope. There we go. I'm working on making a module that is going to mount in between the boobies on the propeller pasty bra that is going to provide for, I don't know, the photoresistors I just mentioned and the LEDs for now. The reason why I'm making these little custom plugins is I haven't really finished designing a more polished board that I would then have fabricated, because I don't know what I want on it yet. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to, like what sensors and what peripherals I'm going to provide for the propeller pasty bra as a whole. So I'm giving myself a little bit of time before I make any hasty decisions and then realize the moment I send the board out that there's something else that I wish I would have added to it. But my soldering iron's heating up now. I'm going to not dip the wire to my camera inside of it, because that would be bad. Hi James, hi Aussie Welsh, hi Vigray, how are you doing? Busy still? Are you sweating over there? Oh, I know I want to be over there too. If I applied for some stuff that if I happen to get, I'll have to leave like within the next week. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but on the off chance that it does, then I don't want to up and be panicked and trying to figure out how to get across the country to pack. Wow. Good morning, everybody. I don't know, I'm alive. Mark will be home eventually. I'm gonna say my cutoff for this stream is when he gets home from work, but I might not. But yeah, so there's this guy. To show you a little bit better what I mean, I made this guy a couple of weekends ago. So I posted this video of this crazy bra thing that I made recently. It's like the POV pasty bra, and it basically has 2 motors, and these pins are for an IR distance sensor. So on either side for either boob there's a a pin header for the motors to plug into, as well as that IR sensor on the inside. And there's a motor driver buried in there from Pololu, which you can kind of barely see, but it's there. It's doing its job. And all of this is going into a Cat5 cable, because the thing that is powering this guy is the pulse pack, which is a thing that I designed that has a bunch of Cat5 jacks along the outside, and now I have no idea why I wanted that. I kind of am regretting that decision, but I think I'm gonna make another one of those this year as well, so the Cat5 cable thing will go away. Looks kind of nice though, for the time being. So what I'm doing right now in the next second or two here is I'm going to add a Cat5 cable to the edge of this board right here, and I'm going to chop the end off and splay out the wires inside and connect them to this. This is something that I did yesterday, but the cable was bad, we think. We plugged this guy up to the pulse pack and tried to upload code to it last night, and it wouldn't work, and we didn't know why, and we tried to buzz out all of the pins from the end of the cable to the pulse pack, and it looked like the cable was fine and there was nothing wrong with it because it itself buzzed out alright, but once you plugged it into the backpack, there was something along the way there that just made it go all wonky, so he suggested I try another cable, which sucks. But he was very kind, and he desoldered the cable from these pins here along the edge, and they're marked what colors I need to connect to them, because, I mean, I know what they are, but just in case I forgot, they're there. So I can get that on. And then this guy goes away for now. Aw. Have fun working, Vi. Don't work yourself too hard. Make sure you get rest, sleep, eat, drink water. And February is a rough month. How's everybody else doing? Ooh. Hello, everybody from abroad. But yeah. But anyhow, I'm gonna tuck this aside, and actually here, let me show you what I'm adding to. There we go. I'll be right back. Alright, so this might look a little bit familiar. So there's a pinwheel on the end there. These dome mounts, or no, dome assemblies are what I'm working on right now. I posted a video a couple days ago of the system actually doing, in part, partially. Yeah, you can't see that. I should solder in this, shouldn't I? Oh, I can't even bend my... You can't see this, but there's way too much crap on my desk, and I can't even bend my laptop screen down. There we go. Yeah? There we go. Alright, so in addition to the module that's on my bench, you actually can't, but there's a photo cell in here, and my friend Tony gave me a couple nicer, bigger, juicier photo resistors to use in this, and that's going to poke out the side right there. And on the inside of the bra, you can kind of see it on this side, I just kind of stuck some LED strip in here. I'm actually going to measure, cut, and properly adhere a strip of LEDs, like RGB LEDs, along the inside of the housing, because there's no reason for me to have RGB strip or RGB LED strip in all the assemblies that I'm ever going to use, because they're just lights. I can just have one per boob and then be done with it. because it's kind of a permanent fixture, and I'm pretty sure all the assemblies are going to make use of lights in some capacity. So they will all have them. But I'm gonna stick that there for now. And I'm not soldering in this, sorry guys. That would be a wee bit too silly. Alright. And without further ado, alright. Where did I stick the other Cat 5 cable? There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna lob the end off of this guy right here. And get to it. Is there an end that I like more? So how is everybody doing, by the way? How is your Friday or Thursday going? I had an uneventful week, I would say. I've just been working on... I'm trying to get started on the next Shibon Augment and not get distracted by anything else, like the thing I'm currently working on. But, I think I'm gonna lob that one off. But life is always full of plenty of distractions. As it goes. I'm starting on the augment for the neck next. So I've been brainstorming how that's going to work out, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm thinking is even going to work. So I'm trying to figure out if I've got a shot of working that out, because otherwise then I'm not going to bother posting anything or making any illustrations. I'm just going to skip to the next idea that seems like it might actually work. But the neck augment is going to... it's going to do stuff to the neck. But, it's going to implement suction, so I'm investigating ways that I can achieve suction without potentially harming myself, because that's always one of the big... not issues, but one of the things I want to make sure I pay attention to while I'm making these things is how to do what I want to do, but not put myself in any danger, of course. Everyone else is working on pinwheels and POV modules, of course. Yes? That'd be awesome if everyone else was doing that too. Like if everybody was making things that diddled their nipples right now and we could talk about them together. Yeah, it's kind of a gloomy day here too, Aussie Welsh. It's overcast. It probably won't rain though. Electro... yeah, it is like an electro-octopus. I'm trying to decide how octopus-like I want this suction device to be like. I'm either going to go like full literal octopus or kind of like create some weird... what's the word? Disassembled? Or disassociated octopus type thing. I'm not entirely sure how strange looking I want this thing to get. It is going to involve casting, so I can say that. No matter what I do, whatever my battle strategy is for achieving suction, I am going to end up using EcoFlex to mold something that is squishy. Because I think the effect that I'm going for here is to create the sensation of a hickey, which is, I guess I think like we can all, in a general sense, agree that that is something that is pleasurable, I guess? Like having your neck sucked on, or I guess tasted, suction cupped. I don't know. So that's the type of stimulation I'm going for. And I believe the sensor I'm using for this augment is the it's going to be one of those respiratory sensors that can sense your rate of actual breath, like when you're breathing in and exhaling. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use yet. I have to do some research, but I think that's the route I'm going to take for input. This is really annoying, guys. I apologize. This wire is like just smaller than the smallest size on my wire strippers, so it's kind of being a pain in the ass. Or it could just be me being generally uncoordinated with my hands, which is also very likely. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. Plastic pump 3D. Oh, peristaltic pump 3D printed Ninja Flex tentacles. Why suction and not electrical stimulation? I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I should definitely try electrical stimulation for something. It's something I've actually not tried yet with my body, so that's a potential rabbit hole I might fall down. Alright, let's do the easy one first. Orange. Like, what if I try electrical stimulation and then end up really liking it? I guess that's the point, right? Self-exploration. Alright, where's the rest of this cord? You are going to have to live on the desk. Although the one really nice thing about Mark's not home yet. The quality of the stream will change once he is here, but once he's back, he can help me not screw any of this up. This poor board. I was so proud of this thing too, and it of course turns out that the cable was bad. The thing that I fear though, ever so much, is resoldering all of this and coming to find out that we still run into the same issue that we were having before. I should be tinning these. Don't be stubborn, Sarah. And don't be lazy. So the goal by the end of the day, I guess I can state this, is to have this thing up and running so that I can do a quick demo of it working in some capacity. That is the propeller pasty bra thing with the pinwheels. If I do get it done early enough, I would like to march outside and get some footage sitting in the yard wearing it, because it's been pretty windy here the past couple of days, which is perfect for testing this thing, since it is like a wind-powered boob diddler, nipple diddler, I guess. The thing I haven't decided on yet, and I feel like kind of a heel for leaving this out, since it is the operative portion of this device, the thing that actually does the thing that the wearer is supposed to feel. On the inside of these domes, there's this mounting point for a some soft device, not a device, object, like plastic or tissue or feathers, whatever it is I decide on to mount to. And I haven't really worked out what I want to use yet. There. So nothing is currently mounted to the little like spinner thing on the inside, so one of the things I'll have to decide on before I do test it out is what that's gonna be. And right now, I'm kind of thinking something smells bad. I'm thinking of taking like a tassel, if I can find one, or I'm gonna make a tassel out of something so that once it's mounted on the inside, the mounting point is kind of offset, but while it spins around the nipple, once it's lit up, it'll kind of look like a mobile or a cat toy kind of rotating around on the inside, because it'll be backlit and you're only going to see the silhouette, and that's kind of the effect that I want. So I'm thinking of making something tassel-like that is probably going to be made out of a string or something, because I don't want to risk choosing something too hard and then scratching my skin up. It's not the kind of skin you want to scratch up, right? I think that says white orange. White green, white orange. Is there a white green? Sure. Marked these. I hate doing this. It's like the most annoying kind of surgery. Like, I felt all good about it yesterday when I was doing it for the first time, but now that I'm just, like, doing troubleshooting, it's that agonizing kind of soldering that you kind of hate. I'm like, I already did this, I don't want to do it again. So that bank is done, it looks like. These pins up here. The other annoying thing I have to do is bridge them, since this is kind of like a... I don't know. I'm faking it. This is the first way in which I learned how to solder circuits together. It was on little perf board chunks like this. When I was in college, I received my first Arduino, and they had a perf board that was about the size of the Arduino board. So we'd get, I think I've got them here actually. These long pin whatever you'd call those, female pin headers with the extra long feet on the bottom so that we could stick these through our perf board and then into the Arduino, and then we could just plug our peripherals into the top temporarily and kind of make our own like circuit dues, kind of exactly in the exact same way that I'm doing right now with this thing. And when I learned how to do all of that, I had no experience with electronics whatsoever. Like, I didn't even know the difference between AC and DC. Back in those days, it was just me hearing about everything for the first time. And I kind of miss doing it this way, like making these little module plug-in things. Because back then I had a whole library of them, and they were all interesting and intricate, and they were kind of little art pieces in and of themselves. That's just great. So happy to be revisiting this doing this again. I do lose my patience fairly quickly. So green is great. Yeah, yesterday I was a perfectionist and now I'm just like, get it done. Is that in there? Pushed out a little bit. Alright, that got pushed out a little bit. The other thing I did yesterday was I burnt myself fairly badly. Which kind of sucked. Although I can't feel it today, so apparently it wasn't as bad as I thought. That's a little bit better. Oh well. It passes Raptor inspection. I think this last one is white-blue, and the brown wires right there are the only ones that don't get used. I'm pretty sure that's what we talked about. If not, whatever. Got logged a little bit weird. Let's fix that. A little better. Okay, one more to go, and then I can move on to the next task at hand. What should I do next? LED strip or photosensors? So exciting. did I have this before? A tens machine? Oh god. I don't know if I want to go there. Oh, hi Lord Grease, Earl of Maggot. Nice of you to join us. How are you doing? Good to see a familiar face, even though I'm not technically seeing it. Oh man. The last wire is always the biggest pain in the ass. I'm experiencing this weird, like, thing right now where something in the lab smells bad and I keep getting, like, a whiff of it from somewhere. Although it could very well be coming from outside, because we have one of those swamp cooler caps, like, right in front of me. And it's not sealed off terribly well, so it could be coming from the outside, but there's something stinky somewhere, and I can't even really, like, put my finger on what it could potentially be. Which is gross. I have to melt this giant glob. No. Motherfucker. No! Is that connected? No. Come on. Fuck it. Probably good enough. Alright, that's done. Time to play Find the Smell? Yes. It's not that flux scent, of course. It's something else. It's like a weird, unpleasant thing that I've never smelled in here before, so I'm guessing it's coming from outside. If that's the case, that's kind of making me not want to open the door to air out the room, but I might in a second here. At least then I'll know. Alright, so this guy, such as it is finished for now. I'll confidently plug it in and see if it works once I have some things to plug into it. So again, at the top here, these 2-pin headers are for the photocells, which I'll probably go ahead and solder up next because that's kind of easy to do. And then down here at the bottom, these 3-pin headers are for the LED strip that I'm going to be mounting inside of the primary breast enclosure, the base bra that has the threads on it. But I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to grab those photocells that Tony gave me yesterday. And that's, I don't know, what should I refer to him as? My butt technician? So the photocells came from the butt technician. The butt. So I'm going to use 2 of these guys. They are quite nice. Another fun fact that's getting me to talk about college again. We had photoresistors in a vending machine outside of the lab that we worked out of, and I bought a pack of like 4, I think. It was 2 big ones and 2 small ones, and I used the same 4 photoresistors in probably a half a dozen projects since I got them, and I just kept reusing them, and I finally lost 3 of the 4, so there's only 1 remaining. And I think I'm going to finally retire it because the headers coming off of it are all mangled and fucked up now, and it's actually currently mounted in the bra enclosure that I just showed you. So I'm going to yank that out and replace it with one of these guys. But I need some wire first. That is solid. Do not want solid. But this will do. Strandy do. That will probably be quite enough. Where are my nippers? I don't know if you can see him, like right at the edge of the screen, you can see Noodle. He's perched back in his normal noodle nest. I think if I do find out this month that I don't get any of the artist residencies or things that I have proposed doing work for, I'm gonna go back to working on Noodle's walk gait avidly, and that will become my primary focus for at least a good portion of this summer. I think I will work on Shibon for the rest of the spring, however, because that is where my heart is at. In the land of the free. Oh, in the US? Lord Grease? It has been about the same. I think the dinge of disillusionment and depression that is the result of current affairs in the country has just sort of sunk in and become a normal part of life now. So, as dismal as that sounds, I've at least acclimated to the way of things, and back to life. It's the new normal here. Our media is still ridiculous, but I mean, it's always been ridiculous. It's just skyrocketed exponentially so within the past 2 years, I would say. I don't know. I don't watch TV or anything, so I don't really have any right to complain about it all, but it's America. I did watch a taping of Jimmy Kimmel live. He's here in Las Vegas right now. I did that on Monday with my mom. That was fun. I hadn't watched a live taping of a show in a good minute, and I didn't know who he was, so it was interesting to see. I gotta go get Red, so I'll be right back. Alrighty. This shouldn't take too long. I might need the helping hands for this, though. It depends on how incredibly stubborn I am going to be. That's not what I wanted. What did I do this morning? Oh yeah, I filmed. I filmed an entire update this morning. Like, you can't see it, but I actually have, like, a leotard on, but it's only half on me. It's, like, I pulled the top off, and it's just sort of hanging down around my ass right now. But, I don't know, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I film in leotards, like the dancer kind of leotards. I'm usually too lazy to take them off after I'm done, though, so they usually just end up hanging off of me for the rest of the day like a second skin corpse. It's just hanging. And I'm in that state right now. If I edit later and I decide, like, on a whim I want to do, like, a pickup or something, I can just put it back on and jump in front of the camera and go at it. So I'm not doing this in a way that Mark would be satisfied with. So the way Mark would do it is he would put solder on both of these and then heat them up and touch them to one another, and they would bond automatically like magic. And that is the way that I was taught, but it's not what I'm going to do right now. The art student in me just stripped the wire and then twisted it around the foot, and then just applied heat until everything became a giant soldery blob mess. Because when all things are said and done, I am a monster. That looks good enough. And thank you for keeping me company again. Like, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with me while I do this. This is actually, like, probably my least part of any project. Is the soldering of all these little, like, peripherals, knickknacks. I don't know, in the right mood I can enjoy it, but right now I'm not necessarily feeling it. For what it's worth. Where's my... I wanted this to be done yesterday, and nothing was working out. It was one of those days where everything I touched fought me. Would you think on those days you would just, like, give up and walk away? And, like, do something else? But no. No, we are stubborn, like... One of the other things I've done recently is watch Lord of the Rings, the entire thing, the extended version, twice since the middle of March. Mark, for my birthday, got me the HD extended collector's edition of both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, which I am a huge fan of. For those of you who are present from New Zealand, I know there's at least one of you here. I saw you, you can't hide. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not into fantasy all that much. I'm definitely more of a sci-fi girl for sure, but for whatever reason, I just enjoy the shit out of those movies. They, like, completely detach my mind from life as I know it. Like, whatever this is that I do every day, when I watch those movies, I get completely pulled away from it, and it's like the nicest mental vacation in the entire world. Because sometimes you just need to, like, get away from yourself. And nothing else really achieves the same thing. Like, even when I watch TV shows and stuff on Netflix, I'm never really all that far away from myself. Okie dokie. That should be good. At least I'm hoping it's good. In any case, I'm calling it done. And I'm gonna add my heat shrink. Yay. Heaty heat shrink. Noodle. So the other thing about this is if Mark... I've been doing this for 45 minutes. I don't know. I might finish before he gets here. Once he's home, I'll have him help me upload code to the Pulse Pack, and then I'll plug all this in and see if it works. In which case, if it just does, like right out of the chute, then I can put this tit harness on and then go stroll out into the yard and just chill for the rest of the day. Which I will definitely do. I lie, I'm gonna edit video. I'm gonna get B-roll of me wearing it, and then I'm gonna go edit video for the rest of the day, because that's what my life consists of these days. Alright, one down, one to go. Tit harness. Wait, why does this censor shit? God, that's annoying. Uh-oh. If it works, it works. Yes, I agree, Tony. Oh, the norm then. I'm pleased you're shrugging off the needless bullshit then. Yes, I'm trying to at least. Aw, shit. Yeah, no, that sucks. I can only imagine what that's like there. Like after a huge shitty thing like that happens. Yeah, like no, that one of those things happened here. We had that big ass shootout on the strip like a year ago, I remember, which was surreal as hell, so I can only imagine what that's like over there. Or I can kind of, I guess, imagine. I remember waking up that morning, it was like, oh, that was what all those sirens were all night that I heard. And I think, Tony, you told me, you texted me and said something went down on the strip. But like my immediate thought was just, oh, we have a lot of car chases here. For some reason, like people like to do car chases on the strip occasionally for fun or something. I don't know, question mark, question mark. That's kind of what I thought happened. I went, somebody was doing something dumb in a car on the strip and it's causing a ruckus. So I just went to bed and I didn't think anything of it until the next day I woke up and saw the news. And then you go, just like that. Can I not do that? So if I were a good raptor, I'd go get the helping hands. But I'm not. I'm not a good raptor. Fuck. Okay. Ow. It occurs to me that the smell I was smelling might have been this piece of whatever or something on it burning. Although it smelled bad. Normally, like, pressboard or wood, it has that, like you're cutting wood in a laser cutter smell, but, like, could just be whatever's on this. Oh, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Can you not do that? Alright, and after I hit this with some solder, I'm going to go over to Mark's bench and use his hot air steamy thingy, his reworky thingy real quick to do some heat shrink over these connections real quick, and then I can move on to the LED strip. Then I can at least like switch the camera to me, because I'm gonna have to measure how much LEDs I can fit in the bra. I can switch up the camera view if needed. There we go. And I keep bugging Mark to stream because he wants to and he talks about it an awful lot. He's working on all this neat stuff. Like for the past, I want to say since November, he's been just making boards nonstop. He's been producing these really cool, like very densely populated like circle and square boards that have like a zillion LEDs on them. And they're nice. Like they're very delicious, well designed, like blingy boards, I guess. And he has a whole series of them now, but he doesn't talk about them, and he doesn't stream like assembling any of them. But I'll keep nagging him to do so, because I think his soldering sessions are a hell of a lot more interesting than anything that I'm going to do. Like he did he placed, this is crazy, he placed like a I shit you not, 1,000 LEDs on this one, well, it hadn't been like broken apart yet, but it was like a full fab of these boards that he had made. They were populated with, I think, like 2mm RGB LEDs, like they're really, really, really small LEDs, and he placed 1,000 of them on this board and then reflowed the whole thing, and I think like half of them didn't actually like adhere, or the solder paste didn't like heat up and do what it was supposed to in the way that he wanted, so he had to like go in and manually like hit all of them with solder and replace a whole bunch of them, and it was just like insane. But it would have been interesting to have him stream that, because you guys could have been having clenchy butt like I was. The entire time he was doing it, I was just terrified he was going to sneeze or like bump his desk or something. Okay, I'll be right back. And then I can move on to the LRDs. Okay. Where did I put the other one? Ah. Did you not remember the streaming from the printer assembly? Oh, I didn't watch those, Tony. Him assembling the printer? Like, I don't recall. I remember him doing it, because I was in the room with him, but I don't know how those went, I don't know, were delivered as a stream, I guess. Breathe too much. Same goes for the laser smoke. Yeah, no, I try not to. I try to be mindful. Be right back. I'm gonna hit those with some heat. Okay, those guys are ready. I could install these. I'm not gonna do it yet, because I know Mark has to Mark sticks those little pin things on these, so I can stick them in the female connector housing clip things. Just call everything a clip. Clip housing thing, that thing. Don't know what anything's called. But I will do this for him. Alright, onto the LEDs. So those are over here, so I'm going to switch this back to not desktop mode. And I'm actually going to go wash my hands real quick since I am lead laden. I'm just going to live up there. So I'll be right back here. Keep Noodle company. He's like right there. Okay, I'm back, and I have this. Okay. I have the good old RGB LED strip, a whole reel of it, such as it is, and I need to measure how many of these I can fit inside of that bra thing. That is behind me. And I'm not going to bring it to my bench because my bench is this bench, like my soldering bench, which is on the opposite wall of the one I usually shoot my videos in front of. This area is a disaster. Like it's not even filled with soldering stuff. It's filled with like crayons and colored pencils and like shavings and stuff. It literally looks like the craft station of the toddler right here that I'm soldering on top of. So I'm going to do the measuring right here. Like here, can I even direct that in such a way? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'll be right there for just a second. Could do that. That works too. Haha. Oh, never mind. I forgot that I flipped that. Shit. Do I want to flip it back? Can I flip it back? Yes, I can. There we go. Okay. Do. So that's again the inside of this guy. Right there. you guys. You want to see the mess? Yeah? You were kind of looking at it a second ago. Although I did clean that area up because there was a camera on it. 73 with slight overcast. It is a beautiful day in Vegas. Oh, Vi is back. It's 38. Ew, no. Here and snowing really hard. Are you kidding me? I mean, I know it snows there late into the spring season, but that's just ridiculous. Vi, I am sending you hugs right now in lieu of cheese and me being there with my own warm fleshy body to pat you on the back and help you get through the stuff. Augment. Being entertaining while doing it is even harder. I agree. Like, this is one of the hardest things that I took on doing occasionally. No, streaming is hard. Like, I feel like I slow down probably like 50% by doing all this, just between setup and like peeking down at the chat and then trying to think of things to say while I'm working. It's like really challenging. Okay, so I've got the strip. I've got this thing. There we go. And this is going to live... Actually, is it going... Yeah, it is. On this side. So that's going to go along this ring right here, this lip. You can kind of see it right there. It's probably the exact correct size to mount anything like this to, or thickness-wise, that is. Looks like I can conceivably cram almost up to this one, but that would be pushing it, so probably up to here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18. So I can fit 18 of these guys inside without overlapping, leaving a tiny bit of a gap to actually get the stuff out with some wires out somewhere. I haven't even decided exactly where that's going to happen, but okay. So 2 pieces of H. Scissors. I was going to make a custom board for the inside of the boob enclosure, and I was going to call it the onion ring. There we go. That's 1 piece. I was going to use those really small RGB LEDs that Mark found on the, I think that was AliExpress or whatever, and just make a really super thin ring that was the inner diameter of the boob housing. And I realized that since all those LEDs would be like forward facing, you would see points no matter what, and it'd be really difficult to hide them. So it made sense to use the strip because everything would be facing in and the light would diffuse a little bit better, more evenly. So even though this isn't a custom board, it is the path of least resistance and it makes the most sense. And it saves me from having to design something in Eagle. Not that I don't like doing that, it's just if I don't have to, then 'tis best. Okay. There's my LEDs. How did I do this last one? Where did I put it? Oh god. Oh god, where did I put it? The room swallowed it up already, I'm sure. Okay. So there's this guy. I'm probably going to be able to have the wires from this thing Since I don't know where the black silicone wire went. It just up and left. Or maybe I won't. Should I recycle this wire? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna untie this knot though. That is something I'm going to do. I'm very bad with knots. This is not one of my strong suits. Go. Especially shitty knots that I tied myself. Is that good? What have they done? Okay, yeah, it's good. Alright. We do have silicone wire. However, on my bench, we have... Oh god, no, don't do that. We have red here in front of me and no other color, and I would prefer at least two, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. As I mentioned like 2 seconds ago, I might just desolder this and recycle it, since this is probably more than enough. If I halved it, that's probably the length I would need for each of these pieces to get from like the middle of my chest to each boobie. What have I done? What are you guys talking about down there? Oh, Vi wants party nipples? We all should have party nipples. There's no reason it should be snowing. The weather is broken. Oh. I don't know, knots are some people's strong suits. Nemo says knots are not a strong suit. Rain. Everybody's getting good weather. I mean, it's a nice day out here. It's just overcast. Which, speaking of, I'm kind of surprised that I decided to film today. Normally I don't film on overcast days because it fucks the lighting up in here. Which sounds incredibly picky, but you'd be surprised how much it matters in editing. For me. For what I do. So, us males are not going to get a glimpse of your beautiful boob nipplets. Keep doing what you're doing. Wait. Is that something that you want? Boob nipplets? Is that like what other people do on YouTube? That's another thing that I'm confused about. Like, I know that there's probably like a whole subculture of young folk out there who like probably stream naked or something. I think. I don't know. It would make sense. I mean, it's not what I'm selling here. This is all electronics and like maker good funnery and chatting about anything really. Okay, hopefully that's enough. No. I'm not here to tease anybody with my boobage. Sorry. I mean, there's so much porn on the internet. I'd argue there's much less discourse about electronics and boobs than there are just boobs. So I think that I'm fulfilling a gap in the entertainment market that no one else is filling with my boob/electronic banter. We is getting a bit of snow. God, I can't even imagine. Like, we did get snow here, just I think in like the end of February. We got it, which is crazy. The weather's been mostly nice here. Cool, the little arrows that are supposed to point which way this thing goes are just blobs. That would be going this way then. Okay. $5 digital, ground. Yes, okay. Do 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 do. Boobs. I don't know. I mean, I'm not entirely against the idea of streaming topless while I solder things, other than the fact that YouTube would probably not like that, and it's probably not safe to solder topless. Just saying. It's easier for me to do this way. Alright, tin your wires, Sarah. Don't be a lazy hooligan. More nipple. Don't worry, if I get this stuff done soon enough, then... I mean, seeing where the stream goes, if I get to the point where I'm actually uploading code to the backpack to test this thing out, I will put it on. Because why not at that point? There's literally nothing else to do but wear the thing. Where did I stick the other wire? There it is. Okay. I am curious. Actually, that's what I can do. Okay, so if I do finish soldering up these RGB LED doodads before Mark gets home, then you guys can help me decide on what my nipple diddler is going to be for the inside of each of the enclosures. Because I mentioned earlier, I haven't actually put anything in there yet. There's like a mounting point for something, but I haven't decided what that something is going to be. So you guys can help me figure that out. As of right now, I'm thinking I could just take some like shitty small pieces of like spent bubble wrap, like the big kind, and like pierce it like on a corner or something, or in the center, and just have like the thin plastic wispy pieces sort of dangling down like a tiny trash bag that's pink. and then that can whip around on the inside. Although if I can find something in here that like conceivably looks kind of like a cat toy but really small, like I don't even know what that would be. I mean, like really the only thing that makes sense is an actual tassel for the inside. I would like to see what that silhouette looks like once this is lit up. And I'm hoping that you can actually see a silhouette of something moving around in there. The opacity of the domes might be a little bit too robust, and you might not see anything, which would be disappointing. So I'm hoping that's not the case. Okay. I think that looks okay. Good enough for now. I'll have Mark look at it under the microscope later. Wow. My vision is shitty. Okay. And then that is going to be this guy. So he's gonna probably help me out and put these connectors on the ends, because I'm very, very bad at that. She's got the finesse for it, I do not, however. And then those will plug into my module that I made nicely. But I'm pretty much there, guys. This is all I had to do. Nipple diddler. I could 3D print something, although I'm not entirely sure how actual PLA in any capacity would actually feel on like breast tissue, so I'm gonna stay away from that. There's got to be something in this lab that I can use. I just have to be clever. I have to be inventive. The struggle. Blech. Blech. Okay. You are ground. This one doesn't have any solder on it. Solder boople. You get on there. Okay, so this one was ground. It's way longer than it needs to be. So I'm hoping to at least get another couple of augments done this spring for the Shibon project. And then my goal for the summer, if I'm not doing anything else, is to get Noodle walking once and for all. So that's kind of my primary year goal, is to just knock that thing off of my to-do list, because it has been on it for so long. Like, I legitimately feel like the shittiest parent on the face of the earth because he still doesn't walk well. Because most people's kids by age 4 can do the walking thing. Right, one more view. Oh, nope, I did that incorrect. You go here. You go here. Okay, that is correct. Alright. Then I just have to pull this extra wire out, because I was told we don't need it. And I could do it if I... Oh, nope. I've got tweezers, so maybe I can. But they're not the really fine tweezers, they're the really fat ones. Damn it. We have 2 pairs of tweezers in this lab. There are these ones that have like kind of a fat end. Mark does not like them, and then the ones that he uses on the other bench are like, fuck, they're like practically pins. They're so tiny. They're like, if you stabbed somebody with those, it would hurt so incredibly bad. But they're really, really sharp. They come to tiny points. And they are for the type of work that he finds himself doing quite often. But these ones are fat in comparison. Big enough that he never uses them. If you get your nips pierced, will it stick? Will it still work to recognize them? I mean, I don't really know how nipples react when they're pierced, because mine aren't, so I have absolutely no idea. My best friend, or one of my best friends, has her nipples pierced. I could ask her, like, what she notices, like how much hers fluctuate, but like mine on the other hand, I mean, it doesn't matter. The devices I'm making are for me, so I don't have to worry about that variable. Like, how does, like on the Disney rides, fluffed up microfiber cloth might work? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Fluffed up microfiber. Or do I have any of that in here? I think, yeah, like the paracord type stuff, like if you unfray it, has like a nice soft tuftiness. So I'm thinking about trying that too. An X-Acto. I have one of those nearby. Let me try and find an X-Acto knife. God I'm very bad at this. It's being an ass. Or I can just wait until he gets home. That's bad. All the annoying, like, tiny, precision-y shit. I usually end up having him do. There we go. Ha! Ha! Ah! God, that is annoying. Okay. Done. Okay, so I have my LED strips, and I'm gonna leave them out for the time being because I think Mark needs to put those pin things, I don't even know what they're called, on the end of these wires. Blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, and same thing with the photocells. Again, thank you, Tony, for dropping these off yesterday. So I've got photocells, I've got RGB strip, and I have my module somewhere. I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere, but that's done too. So I have all my peripherals ready, locked and loaded to be put inside of these tit housings. Where are they? Right here? Yeah? So one of the things I also need to do is modify these guys so that half of the time the sensor that's kind of like about, oh, you can see it there. It's right here. So that half of the time the sensor is covered up, and then half of the time light can penetrate through the pinwheel and hit the sensor so that it has like the on and off effect. It works really nicely with the propeller, but those things do not respond to wind very well because they're flat. So the pinwheel makes sense. I just have to probably chop holes in it in order to get it to work the way that I want, which is something I could do now. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna focus on that. There's like a mounting point on the inside there. Right here. It's offset slightly. There's a like a mounting hole. It's an inset mounting hole so that the hardware that I attach the diddling object with will kind of countersink into it nice and flush like, so it's not scraping on the boob potentially. I just have to decide what I'm gonna mount to it, but like if I spin that, you can see that the motion transfers from the pinwheel to the thing on the surface. Diddlins. Do diddlins. Thank you. Thank you, VVVXVVV. McBong's Lab. Paracord is probably nylon. That should be fairly safe for nipples. You don't have any spools of rope in the lab, maybe strips of leather or nylon webbing. I have leather. I have fleece as well. Like I could use pieces of fleece. Paracord sounds nice. Do I have paracord in here someplace? I know I have to. I have to have paracord in here. Like, have to. I can't accept that we do not have paracord or any fraying cord in this lab. I just can't, for the life of me, think of where it would be if we did. I do have this nice fatty yarn, which I could use. I'm gonna go wash my hands again real quick. I'm just really hyper paranoid about the sheer amount of lead in this one area, so I'll be right back. I remembered I have this paracord stuff. And this is paracord I was going to use to create like a faux plug for my toaster that's no longer technically a toaster. It's just sort of like my friend now that keeps me company in here. But I was gonna replace his cord, his like plug cord, with this nice orange fabricy stuff, because in my comic my toaster character has an orange cord plug. Yeah, it's gotta match. So I might steal a couple pieces of this, because this, like, on a nipple, that's right, I'm totally brushing this on my nipple right now, feels okay. So I'm gonna use this. I just have to figure out how I'm going to mount it. See, that's the tricky part. Like, I was thinking of using brush heads, because that, like, sable brush fur is, like, really, really, really soft. Aside from, like, the metal thing that's holding all the sable pieces together. That would work. Like, one of those fan paintbrushes would be a nice thing to use, but I have no idea how I would lob the head off and then attempt to mount that to that little tiny little piece that I have in there. I'm thinking what I might do for the time being is just use some what's it called, gaff tape, and create like a little loop tag that I can stick a piece of hardware through and then just fasten that to it. Like, it's definitely not a super permanent solution, but it's gonna work for the sake of testing this thing out tonight. Like, by the time it gets a little bit cooler and hopefully a bit more breezy out. I have no idea if there's any wind today. Like, it looks gloomy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have any airspeed. Like, the past 2 days, it's been windy as shit. Like, the backyard was just, like, things were blowing all over the place, like, the past 2 days, so, can just print a disc with holes and glue the other end of the rope or brush into it. I could do that. Am I gonna get that fancy pants? Glue. What kind of glue do I have? I do have super glue. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay. So I'm going to, let's see if I can do that here. Great, I'm opening up Fusion real quick, because I'm gonna make a quick, fast piece. Here, guys. Hi. I know you can see this. Okay. Gotta grab the calipers. Where are they? Where are my calipers? Sorry guys, I'm wandering my lab looking for my calipers. Ah. Okay. I'm gonna say 5. It's 5, but I'm gonna do like a 5.3. So that is the rough diameter of the paracord. And how deep should I make this thing? So the floor, I'm probably gonna do, I don't know. that'll do. And then we can attach this to our mounting point. Let's see how much space I've actually got. Stick it directly on top of it. Okay. Okay. So this is roughly 3 point whatever. I'm just gonna make this an arbitrary amount for now, but this is going to be 3.8. That's the hole for my hardware. I'm gonna offset this by 2 so that it's got some meat to cling to, and then I'm going to make this 6. No, that's too close. 7. No. Fun fact, by the way, I've been using Fusion for 2 years now. I just had to renew my license like 2 days ago, so I've officially, it's been 2 years since I originally downloaded it. And thank you again, Tony, for forcibly making me learn this software and turn away forever and ever from SketchUp, because it was a very bad pizza. No one should ever use SketchUp to make mechanical parts if you care about yourself. Noodle's like, I was designed in SketchUp. Mommy, am I not good? We just had a conversation about this being called fillet, but I call it fillet because when I say the word fillet, it reminds me of food, and that makes me happy. She's crazy. Okay, so that's facing down. Okay. I think that this will be okay. Okay, so again, my paracord is going to stick into here. It's going to glue into this cavity right there. And then this is for a nut, a piece of hardware, and that is the thing that's going to mount onto my little internal PC doohickey thing here. I think there's enough clearance for that. There really ought to be. If not, I can extend this a little bit more. No, that's not the sketch. This one. God, I love parametric stuff. 9. That is awesome. I love that you can do that. It makes me so happy. Okay, so I'm going to... where are you guys? There you are. Yes, SketchUp is terrible. I just looked down at the chat and it's just like, SketchUp is terrible. I'm like, yes! Yes, it is. It is the worst thing. Fusion is the best. Maybe bind a 1-inch section of rope. We're using rope. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the adapter thing that I can save stuff onto stuff with, and then I'm gonna stick it in the printer, so I'll be right back. That's right here. We're just gonna use every single port. I have this USB hub thing behind me that, like, everything that is required to make a stream is plugged into, and this just filled up the last of the last. I'll be right back. Great. Well, that sucks. Whatever Mark printed in PET, like, permanently bonded itself to the bed of the printer, and when I went to remove it, it ripped the coating on the metal printing thing off, which I didn't think was possible. But there's like this coating. I'm gonna do this while I talk. There's this coating on the Prusa print bed that's like yellow and Kapton-like, but not Kapton. And we've been using this thing for over a year now, and it does what it does. It's never like changed or altered, or we've not damaged it in any way. But when I went to skin this piece off, it took the coating with it when it popped off. So that's a thing. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to export this real quick. So there's nothing really to show. So I'm not gonna change the screen over. I'm just setting up the print file in the slicer thing. Whatever it is. Oh, hi AP Tech. Sorry, I almost missed that. Hopefully you're doing alright. How are you doing since you are here? Yeah, I know, totally Aussie Welsh catastrophe as hell. Mark's gonna be not happy, and I feel bad. Okay, export G-code, save. He just started printing in PET recently. Apparently it's really sticky, I guess? I was not anticipating that being stuck that hard. I didn't really do anything unusual either. I was using my scraper to kind of just pop it off. And it popped off. It just was going to take some chunks with it, which is not cool. I did not invite it to take chunks with. Okay. I'm going to stick this in and get the print started. And then once it's done, it's going to take about, I think it said 7 minutes. Then I can stick this in there, glue it in, let it dry, and then hopefully by the time Mark is home, I'll be short of having everything completely installed, ready to test the code with the module. We'll see if it does. Fingers are crossed. Well, that sucks. That's... where am I? Oh no. Why? Ah! There I am. Okay. I don't know what to do. I mean, it's printing. It's fine, it will print. I just feel bad that I, like, broke the print bed. It'll work with the size of the thing that I'm making right now, because it's like off on the knot center where it peeled up. But if, I mean, it's wrecked, like we're gonna have to get another one. I don't know if we have any others of those. Oh well. He'll be home soon enough. It's 3:30, so Mark will be back from work in about an hour. So my fixture for the nipple tickler is printing. So I think it's settled. I'm gonna end up using this stuff for my my diddler for the time being. Everything's ready. What else could I possibly do right now in short of ending this stream? I don't know. I mean, that is always an option. I could just call it quits for now and then start another one later, which I never do. Like, whenever I think I'm gonna finish a project later and then stream more, like at a different point in the day, it doesn't end up happening. Because as soon as I'm done, I'm like exhausted, and then I'm like, alright, it's time for a beer, and playing Splatoon for the rest of the day. Where did my chat go? Where did all my windows go? Come on. If I hit restore chat and then I pop the chat out again, can I do that? Ah, okay, that worked. I angered the gods. Did you ever worry about attracting unwanted attention through this project, or any eyes good eyes for the project? I don't know what you mean by unwanted attention. I mean, people are always assholes, but that's like anything that you do. I'd say that the amount of negative crap I've gotten regarding the project, just like mean shit having to do with anything, is stayed about the same. Like, amazingly, like, people find shitty stuff to say about anything that you do. And that went for Noodle, who is fairly innocuous. I mean, like, who would hate Noodle? But, like, people would hate on Noodle, people would hate on his feet, people hated on, like, the Delta robots. There's always something somebody was complaining about. It's just, now that I'm doing Shiban, people are, like, personally attacking me and, like, my body, but I don't care. Like, it's something that, I don't know, it's the sort of attention that I've gotten on and off my entire life from assholes. So it's more of that, and you don't pay attention to that sort of thing anyway. I guess to work on a project like this, you'd have to be capable of tuning a lot of that out, because it doesn't go away. It scales. I think that's it scales proportionately. So as much more attention that the project is getting, it's the same percentage of shitty attention to legitimate, like, positive, helpful, or encouraging feedback. Probably didn't read the full manual for pet plastics. Multiple warnings about not using alcohol to clean the print bed and using a glue stick as a releasing agent. Ha. I could have sworn that he read something about that, but he might not have used it during this print, because it was fucking on there. Like, not going anywhere. It was, like, fused to the bed. Get a beer in me? Oh, take care. Cheers. And yes, Nathan, Noodle is innocent. I don't know how anybody could possibly say anything bad about Noodle. He's like a baby. He's pure and happy and full of all things joy. But people would talk shit about him too, which is awful. Now, people don't hate Noodle, but, like, people would say, like, mean things about the project, because, like, I don't know. Like, people literally will find anything to complain about if you let them. It's the internet, though. I mean, part of having a YouTube channel and trying to like upkeep it and engage an audience is just like tuning out the random crap that gets thrown at you, because I realize it's everyone, and people can say whatever they want. So they do, because there's no repercussions. So you just have to shrug and keep going. Well, Noodle is a toddler. He's my baby, though. He'll always be a baby in my heart. He's definitely a toddler. He's in toddle mode. I think if he actually ends up walking fairly decently as a result of like development this summer, then he'll finally be like a kid. I'll call him a kid. He'll have reached kiddom for robots. But what can I do? I've got at least another minute or two on the print before I can go back and grab it. I guess I can cut this. Let me wrap some tape around this before I do so. This is the best, most useful stuff in the world. Paper tape. It's amazing if you are trying to get two things that are plastic to fit together and it's off by like a very, very small, barely measurable percent. You can wrap it in this stuff because it has barely any thickness, and you can just wrap it as many times as it takes to get that nice fit. And since it is papery, it's got a little bit of a tooth to it, so those two parts will lock together a lot more snug than if it was just plastic on plastic. So like, I highly recommend paper tape. It is good sheet. Okay, that is wrapped. Huh. Do I have a full-time job? I do not have a full-time job. I beg for money at the beginning of the year and usually end up receiving some money from somewhere, either a grant or a residency or something, and then that will fuel whatever I'm working on for the time being. And then I use all my other lovely skills for money if I need it, if I want it. Alright, I'm gonna go check on the print. Alright, I'll be right back. It's a messy print. The other thing about the pet is it always leaves gunk everywhere. The print after it. I just think I'm gonna make that deeper. That might be enough. Yeah. Looks like my hair. Alright, I'm gonna stick some super glue in that hole and then jam this back in and see if I can't mount it inside of the booby enclosure. Where the hell did I put the glue? Ah! Or I can just do that here and hopefully not make too terrible of a mess. Huge mess. Alright, that's super glued in. And I can unfurl this thing just a little bit more. There. Nipple tickler. And then I need a good piece of hardware, which I can't access because the lid is closed and my microphone is on top of it. But I might have something on my desk just rogue lying around. Alas. I do. Okay, let me see one of these bad boys. Do I have the dexterity necessary to do this? The answer is unclear. Oh. I need a metric screwdriver. Where's my metric screwdriver? There we go. The thing I'm doing right now looks ridiculous. Because nothing I make is easy to assemble. Ever. Even if I like really plan for it to be, it still is not. Not that I did in this case, because I most certainly did not plan for this to be assembled this way. It just kind of happened. But on. You can do this. I have faith in you. I'm like... There we go. That'll do. That's not gonna work like that. So there we've got a nipple diddler. Well, that might be too much counterweight in order for it to work. Nope. Let's see. Do I have a light? Oh, I used to have a light in... Nope, it's not there anymore. God damn it. Oh wait, nope, here it is. Does it still work? It does still work. You can kind of see it. There you go. Alright. 1 nipple diddler. Two. We shall add another. Oh man. Okay. That should be done printing just about. So I'm gonna prep this next tassel for... Wait, I already have tape. For being installed. And then, is it 4 yet? Yeah, we still got a half an hour until the mark is home. I never thought I would be intentionally fraying paracord like this. Just like gouging my finger into it. It is really soft though. So that is nice. And I have to point out the lengths of these things will probably need to be adjusted. But that's why I made the little mounting tab so that all of this is pretty much adjustable, like none of it's permanent. So I can test out different things. So I'll probably make a bunch of different little fixtures with like little like diddlers. They are like fishing tackles, right? So I'll have like a tackle box, but it's just going to be filled with like nipple stimulators. And I can pull out the one that I feel like, and I'll be like, ah, today I feel like the nylon pom-pom on my nipple. And then I can screw that in to my nipple propeller thing, and I'm good to go. But these are kind of nice. It's a good idea. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the little fixture printy PC from the other room, And then those will more or less be ready. I might need to do something a little fancy to get the photo cells in their little mounting point. I'll work that out later. Alright. I can switch this down. Ha! Make my mark and corner the market on nipple diddlers. There we go. I am totally okay with that. I know I said back like a long time ago when me and Mark were first starting to collaborate, we did a bunch of like weird quasi-sexual related stuff projects, him and I, back then. None of which we ever finished, but we worked on them and we enjoyed the time spent doing all that weird crap. But I remember thinking to myself, if for whatever reason I came to be known for making some weird off, like counterculture-y sex niche market device that caught on, and that was like my claim to fame for having set that standard, I would be completely okay with it. So if nipple diddlers did become a thing, I would be okay with being the nipple diddler girl. Woman, whatever. There we go. 2 nipple diddlers. Unfurl this a little bit more. There we go. And then I need a piece of hardware, and then I can attach it. I need a nut. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you need a nut, and sometimes you need 2 nut. Come on. Normally it can handle an overhang like that, but it did not like it this time. Now the question is, do I have 2 pieces of hardware hanging out on my desk? I do. I do. See if I can show you what I'm attempting to do. So nut goes in hole, and then this goes on the other side of that thing. I can't. This has to go in my lap, I'm sorry. Takes more dexterity than us raptors can muster with our tiny little arms. Winglets. I'm lining up a hole in a bowl. You done good, pig. Alright, that's 2. In case you didn't catch that. Gonna have to get pretty gusty wind in order to make it work, but it's in there. Okay, so that's 2. Alright, diddlers are installed in both of these cups. The very last thing that I need is I need pin header plug things put on my LEDs and my photosensors. I need to install them in the appropriate points on these, and then once that is done, they can all get hooked up to that module, and then Mark can upload some code to it, and we can see if any of it works. And if all of that goes to plan, then I'll have a thing to wear in the yard in another, say, 2.5 hours. I'll probably go out there like at the golden hour, which is 6 o'clock here in Vegas, like 6 to 6:30, 6:45 at this time of year. And I'll probably have a beer at that point, but I don't know. How long have I been doing this? About 2.5 hours. I think I'm about out of stuff to do for the time being. So I think I'm gonna call this stream for now. I don't wanna, I don't know. As far as fruition goes, I'll post video probably on Twitter, because that's my medium of choice, once I get the system working. I mean, that is to say that we don't hit any major speed bumps. There is a chance that this cable I installed on the module, there's a chance that the cable wasn't the culprit, and there's something else wrong with the system that we have not, like, found out or figured out yet. And in that case, that it's still not working, we'll have to do some troubleshooting. But as soon as it's working, I will get some footage so that you can see how it does, and I will let you know for sure how the paracord feels on raw areola flesh. I don't know. Wait, I usually post the Discord thing. Hang on. Invite people. Copy. Here we go. If you want to hang out with us cool people in my Discord, that is the link. Sometimes we converse about current affairs or whatever, or making. Sometimes we just, I don't know, people talk about whatever, but it's always chill and cool and everybody's awesome there, so I invite you to join us. Tony, you're right, there is an erotic heritage museum in Vegas. Maybe one of these days I will approach them about something, because that makes sense that I ought to one day. But until that day, I'm going to keep working on Shibon. And I'm going to catch up with the chat. Wait. Maybe I don't know. Oh, but small. In Portland? Probably. Every day is leg day at the T-Rex gym? Yes. They might have a polishing effect if it gets too windy. Ooh, nipple polisher. That's another thing. Like, I could put, like, lubricant on these, or, like, I could put sponges on the inside, like soggy, wet sponges that are, like, saturated with lube or something, and then have those whip around, and then there would probably be, like, splatter coming off of them and hitting the plastic, so you'd see, like, liquid splattering and making contact and then kind of, like, dripping down, so it'd be messy. And then there'd just be kind of, like, liquid pooling up at the bottom of the bra and slowly oozing out, so they'd be kind of disgusting. That's another thing I could experiment with, if I wanted it to go that direction. I haven't had to clean any of these things yet. It's another like interesting thing that I didn't really take into consideration before when I brought all this to SuperCon with me last fall, is that I was bringing devices that everyone assumed had made contact with my body. But like I hadn't worn any of that stuff on my pieces yet at that point in time, but it was interesting witnessing how people That's my mom. And I didn't accidentally click accept this time. But anyhow, it was interesting witnessing how people were reacting around things that they assumed had been on my genitals. So that was something that I didn't anticipate until I was in that exact situation, observing other people's behaviors. So that's something that I'm going to need to think about in the future when I have all this stuff finished. Like I'll probably have like a demo set that's just like, handle these and get all of your finger germs all over this salmon box that's for the crotch and these boob parts that are for the nipples. And then I'll have like the set that is meant for use on my body and is probably a bit more like, it has whatever bells and whistles I need to add to make it more like comfortable on my skin, because a lot of the stuff is not. It's got hard plastic 3D printed sharp edges, so I'm gonna have to like genuinely do a pass where I just think about comfort, so that these things, once they do fit my parts correctly, they do so gently. So, I don't know. Until I figure out the rest of the propeller conundrum, I don't know, thank you for keeping me company this afternoon. I'm gonna probably make some tea now. I'm gonna pop some Earl Grey in a cup and drink it. So until the next time that I do a stream or post or do whatever, I don't know. Thank you for keeping me company today, guys. It was good catching up. Sorry it wasn't a bit more exciting, but I'm glad that you're here with me to get the tedious stuff out of the way. So thank you. Take care. Pinkies up.